not to beat myself up and humanize my eating patterns. Today I've been trying to treat myself like I would a friend, make sure I've got some food and water at least, and I'm taking care of myself even if it's in the slightest. My crippling nicotine addiction. My way of distraction. Sitting alone is so hard. All the feelings are so compelling. It feels like they're trying to metaphysicize out of the absence in my chest that is so full and visceral and deep and intense. This huge, deep, somber pool of emotions. I remember everything I had to do, and being in this moment is even harder. That's one of my biggest struggles. Trying not to feel like I'm constantly in a rush or like my mind is somewhere else. Grounding, being present, breathing, but it's not necessarily trying not to feel that way, rather sitting with the anxiety, allowing yourself to feel it, then allowing it to pass on, and do whatever it is you need to do in order to recenter. I talked a bit more about my situation with Oni. Little side note, recently I've had to be a little bit smarter about when I'm using discretion. I tend to just kind of like talk and like overshare a lot of the time, to be honest, so I'm trying to work on that. So I'm gonna skip over some of this. This is me talking about, he is very important to me, and I do want to share that on here. Oni is his name, but just been going through some things, and I cried, and I said, I told my therapist how I felt. I hated it, but it felt nice. And I didn't know here just that situation meant that much to me originally. I've been writing a lot of poetry, and I feel like I'm processing it and coming to a better understanding or perspective of it now. Just gotta give it time. Let's see. I have emotional wounds I need to reopen and work on properly healing before I give and love again. It hurts to love. I'm gonna talk more about that possibly in a second, I don't know. This is how I was feeling at the time. But I want it, I yearn for it, I'm just not able to supply it. Ayo, don't tell yourself you can't do that, homie. Which is okay. That's completely normal and healthy to take the time I need. That part's true. As long as I don't lead people on or use them as a vice to take the edge off my rock bottom self-esteem. Very common in the modern dating scene. I've been a part of the system, which I have been doing. Not purposefully, but it's still happening. Hurt people hurt people. There's nothing wrong with me, just the way I'm going about healing and existing. It's obviously extremely unhealthy for me, but also other people. When I start to become self-absorbed, so wrapped up in my own issues, mind, and health, that it starts to negatively impact others, is when I know I need to take a step back, which is also okay. I can only give so much, and first I need to give to myself. So anyway, I'm gonna skip past that part. This is the next day, 8:16. I'm spending the next couple of nights alone. I'll be working tonight and tomorrow night. I have to clean up the entire downstairs and my room. I also have to find the word count, basically finish the rough draft of the book I plan on publishing. I'm actually taking a step back from that right now. I'm just not going to go about it this way because I don't have the means to support that, and then you can also self-publish, so I'm just going to do that. I don't really think that I need to go through like a publishing studio in order to do this. I think I'm just going to do it on my own. Anyway, I'm trying to view these nights alone as a good thing. Space to be with myself, it's exposure. I realized I suck at being alone. And I use other people's company as a means to distract myself. It's necessary, and that self-discipline will be easier to conquer than it was today if I keep at it. But it still sucks. I have an impulse to just find another girl or guy who's fucked up like me, no expectations, no commitment. I wouldn't have a happy ending, and feelings would eventually come into the equation like they. Sorry, I'm using this on Snapchat because then I can have some of the music in the background. No, it's gonna be copyrighted, but like I don't fucking care. Anyway, it really just justifies my own needs with a minimization of damage to the fullest extent there is, but it would also be unhealthy for me. I highly doubt I will. I don't want to download another dating app. Anyway, let's see. Now, this is 8/18/24. What is most essential, foundational to me? This is like literally the foundation. Like, this is what I need to build off of. This is the essentials. This is like my number one priorities in life. Spend these next few months setting up the foundation. That is like crucial. I need to spend like just these next few months just dedicating my life to this because I'm in need of a foundation. Like, that's the thing, is I do have some of the skill set, but I don't have a lot of it, and I don't have that support, and I don't have the foundation of like the ego and the self-esteem that I need. I need to work on that. Like my ego and my emotional state and my energetic body is just like, it's in crisis. So I need to heal that, and I need to surrender. I'm gonna talk more about that later. So this is assets over liabilities, so things that give back to me, and it's not about that reciprocating thing, but like right now it is. Like I need things that will invest back in me that I can invest in, like not things that are taking from me, and that's like not just financially like liabilities, but like people that are draining me, or and assets is like opportunities, like things that I'm going to take this, like the behavior technician program that I'm going through to get my certificate right now, so I can help other people who feel like me. And then emotional and financial reality are the same. They're just a reflection of each other. So over time it adds up or it takes away. It goes to straight zero. What does everybody add? So I'm gonna go to straight zero. I start at zero, right? What are all of these things in my life adding, or what are they taking away from me? I'm in a deficit, so I have more emotional liabilities than assets, and that's showing up in my finances because I'm fucking broke. Think in terms of in plus or assets. Make decisions of things that add to your life. I am becoming an asset. I am my greatest investment. Be purposeful, deliberate, intentional, and meaningful. I'm going to become an asset. If someone's an asset, it will be apparent very easily. They shouldn't have to guess or like assume, or, you know, I'm just gonna let them. But if they show up and they're there, then it's like you're an asset because you're giving back to me. It's not about how they make you feel. Does having them in my life make my life easier or better based off what I need? So I need to add more assets so I can take care of my liabilities. I've taken on so many emotional burdens because I'm the only one. Like, and by the only one, I mean like, I'm the only one who fucking gets it. Like, and that's not like an offense, because it's not like there's something wrong with these people. I'm not saying that there's something wrong with like just the general population, but I've always known since I was little that there's something more about me. It's like there's this sixth sense, there's this calling, there's this pulsing from within, there's this absence, there's like this knowing. It's just like a feeling, and the fact that I know that there's something greater than ourselves, that is ourselves. It's all included and it's all interconnected, and a lot of people are just pretending and playing these roles, and like they're not even aware of it, and it's like you can't force someone to be aware of it, but it's like I'm the only one who gets it. Anyway, support is necessary. These are things I'm like, bold, this is bold. When I don't invest back, who do I hear from? Take that pause, step back from what's not essential or foundational to me. I'm going to sit with things, and I'm going to sit with people who can actually help me process shit, not shuffle around. Affecting my sleep due to major deficit, the emotional deficits. Like I need to work on that before I can start working on my sleep. So let me slow down. Think, why do I do what I do? Why do I work at Fuji Sushi? What are the pros and cons? Why do I live with my aunt and uncle? Why do I go to the gym with one of my friends? Why am I friends with another one of my friends? Why do I do my makeup in the morning? It's just simple as that. Bring in the consciousness to as many parts of my life as possible. If I don't do it now, I'll have to do it later. My thought process is that I have to be conscious of all these little things. It's like asking those questions, because when you ask the questions, you'll get the answers. Why do I do my makeup in the morning? Well, sometimes it makes me feel confident, but sometimes I'm trying to cover up my insecurities. Why do I don't know. It's just like really little small things, and you'll get the answers. Like you just have to ask, and if you don't, then ask more questions, or maybe just step back. I don't know. This is my 14 reasons why. Very open. I'm still navigating how much discretion, but my 14 reasons why, that is my body count. I'm going through, and I am apologizing to everyone that I've hurt before, and those people are people that I've slept with too. So I just didn't treat the situation or the connection with the respect, and it was necessary. It was an evolutionary learning point. So this is more of me writing about that essential foundation. So Oni and us, reconciling, letting go, and forgiving, getting my basic needs met, healing my emotional and my sleep deficit. That's very important right now. Being present in the moment and surrendering to control or like the idea of perfectionism. Like, I'm a huge perfectionist. What and who to invest in? Myself, the behavioral technician program. These are things that just like feel right. I'm going to talk more about this later. My friends. So I list out some of my friends and I'm like, these are the people that are worth investing. These are the people that have consistently shown up when I said that I needed them or I needed something, or who just sat with me, you know, or were able to like contribute something to my life. It's like, when I think about the purpose that they add to my life, it's like, why am I friends with this person? Oh, right. When I'm with them, I feel comfortable. I feel like life slows down and we're able to just be in one another's presence. There's not pressure to talk. There's not pressure to this or that. It's just like, I can just be in her existence and I can just be myself and I can feel good about it. It's like, that's what she adds, and it's like, you know, that's an investment that's worth making to me. Sitting alone with my thoughts and feelings and allowing them to pass. That's a huge one. That's a huge one. Just sitting in my room, it's like, there's so many energies and there's so much that is like stored in this environment. It's like affecting my energy body and like everything that is like transmuting. It's like, I need to integrate. I need to make peace with like all of those energies, right? So that's what doing all this work is about. That's what investing in, like, just to break it down. And publishing my poetry, that's a huge one. That's, I've shared some of it. Go check it out. Who not to invest in. Sorry. So I wrote down some people. These are people that I have a really big tendency to give, and I love to give, and I'm still learning how to give, and I'm in the deficit, so I can't properly give right now, and I also can't give to myself, so it's like I'm limited in some ways. But these people, it's like, I want to listen to them and I want to help them in some ways, but they are not encouraging that behavior in me. And when I talk to them, it's like they're self-occupied, and I'm just in too much of a deficit to do that. If I were in a better, like, if I had like a surplus of all of that, and like I had the skills and the foundation, and like that peace and like prosperity within me, like, I would be able to, but I just can't right now. So I wrote down those people. They're draining, and that's on me. I need to find that discretion in me to not give away those parts if they're not going to be treated with the respect or treated with the same level of investment that I'm offering them. So yeah, people who do not invest back. So Fuji Sushi, that's where I work. I'm a server. Using my time to make money, that's another thing. I literally realized all of this time I could just be playing the music on my laptop, homie. I also just bought this laptop. It's sick as fuck, and it was a pretty good price. I think it was like 200 something, but like, look at this baby. Yeah, I can place The Sims on it. So Fuji Sushi is where I work on a server and using my time to make money. Like I said, I'm gonna talk about that later. Time, worst way to make money. I'm getting paid $3 an hour, and I could be making a lot more for the skills that I have. So I'm planning on using my skills to make money instead of my time eventually. Because I need time right now. So where does my happiness lie? Conversations, swimming, weightlifting, sharing my writing and my thoughts, like I am right now. Like, this makes me so happy. I love to give, I love to share, but it's sharing. So I know that this is not going to be reciprocated, and that's okay. I'm just getting it out into the universe, to be honest. Habits that do not support my lifestyle. Nicotine and weed. I got addictions. And my sleep deficit. So this is my life is ensuing, and this is just like me writing about like all the little things. It's just like the progress and stuff. But I do have more that I want to share. It's just everything basically like from this week and whatnot. I'll just keep this open. Also, I just got this journal. Wow. And it just says begin right here. Oh my god, you can see the fucking, what the fuck. Anyway, I like it. It's cute. And I got this little candle. Anyway, talking about the hard shit, we got the little aesthetic environment, but it's not all about the aesthetic. Perfection is an illusion. speaking of that, it's a nice transition, pretty sexy. Anyway, these are my crazy notes that I took on this video. It was on Mind Valley, and they just have like a bunch of courses and meditation and programs and stuff on there. But yeah, this one was talking about learning how to surrender. So I'm just gonna go over all of these notes that I find important. And once again, this is all over the place. This is a rough draft. I don't even care if it's not refined yet. The refining is going to come later. I'm just putting it out there. So these are the first notes that I took. Surrender to the truth. Surrendering is hard because it's the death of an idea. It's an identity. That's the phase of grieving. So by suppressing the feelings of grief, they can express in unhealthy ways. And when you express that in unhealthy ways and you don't actually address it and deal with it how it needs to be dealt with, you're storing that energy inside of yourself. To feel the grief is to do it intentionally. So that's like honoring the feelings. That's like me, for example. I'm going to do a lot of applying in this. I'm not going to be shy about it, but for me, a feeling that I need to honor is when I sit in my room, I feel really lonely. When I'm sitting by myself, I feel really lonely. I feel it in my chest. I feel this really, really deep, heavy, just like this pool. It's just like this, I don't even know how to explain it, man. I mean, like, it's a feeling, but it's like more than that. And it just sits with me. And that was me suppressing the feelings for so long that it's just, oh, it's stored in like your body, like it takes a toll. And it does talk more about that later too, but it's like your body like will literally take a toll from storing that energy, or it needs to release it. And by suppressing those feelings like of grief and like the surrendering and like the control that I was not allowing myself to let go of, I have so many self-harm scars. And that was just me trying to release that energy. So how to know when to surrender is an outdated paradigm. Is the things, the things that we're pursuing or the things that we think we want are who we think we are. When you're like thinking, and that's like projection, so that's being enough. So say like for me, for example, I want to ninja 400 someday. I want to be a fucking hot muscle mommy, tattooed biker fucking mommy, you know. And I used to have this idea that it's like, when I get this bike or when I get this, I'm going to be so cool. But it's like, I'm so cool now because this moment that I'm in right now is going to lead to the eventual moment that will become that moment. And when I'm so cool, so that means I'm so cool right now. But it's like what we think we want. When you think about it that way and you use that projection, it's like who we think we are. Who I think I am is already this person. It's the end goal. It's the destination. And that makes me who I am. But I'm me right now, so how does that work? And then it's like that feeling of being enough. When I get there, I'll be enough, which instills the belief that I'm not good enough right now. So it's a condition to a sense of ego. This is going to be all over the place, or like I like to feel like you make it all about you. And being a narcissist doesn't always mean that you have a huge ego. It's usually the opposite of that. It usually means that you're really insecure and you're projecting onto people or situations or yourself because you feel this lack of control and you're not allowing yourself to surrender. And starts to kind of just project in all these ways. You just kind of make it about you, and a lot of it is just from low self-esteem. Like I felt that, like I feel like, well, everyone naturally has a narcissistic supply. They have those things that make them feel like they're hot shit. Anyway, so I started this. What is it that life or the universe or my soul is seeking to manifest and express through me? So this is going to be where it starts getting all over the place because I don't know where the fuck we're at. Excuse me. Let's see. I'll just start from here. Ego over our true, authentic self-expression, and that's where like the narcissistic shit comes. Like you allow your ego to get in the way. And you know, one second, while we're here, let me just according to calculations, a person's sense of self-esteem or self-importance, that's a sense. It's a concept. It's not concrete, because everybody's ego is fucking different, but it's a sense of self-esteem or self-importance, and that's what you build it off of. So it's more of a perceived reality rather than its own independent reality, which that is its true, authentic self-expression. That is who you already are. That's just your natural state. And that's the impulse. And the impulse is the energy and the flow and the evolution and the experience. And all of that is deeper than the attainment of that thing. So it'll be a natural flow. It's not forcing. You're participating. The God we think we want is not always what we always want. We have an idea, we're like, oh, we want this. And that's because it's built off of ego. That's because it's built off of the attainment, the destination, and the sense of enough. And the enough doesn't exist. There is no perfect. There is no enough. And when you get there, and you're like, oh, I thought I wanted this, but then you get it, and you're like, I don't want this. I want to be enough. But that thing didn't make you enough. Because weren't you enough in the beginning? Like, you're always the same you. You're always the you. And the you in the past is the you now. And the you now is the you that will become the you in the future. You know what I mean? I don't even know. I don't know how to explain it. What does my soul need to learn is a good question. So if our dreams aren't manifesting, our wants aren't manifesting, trust time. Trust that it will come in time, and that requires patience. You can't force manifestation. That'll come back to unlearned lessons first, and then growth. You can't, like, you can manifest these things, but you have to learn the lesson, and then you can do the growing. So shift focus. It's your soul perspective. Maybe if it's not what you originally thought you wanted, then just shift focus. What's a word? Like redefine, or just refine, I guess. Okay, still a little all over the place. So the nature of delusion is unawareness. So a very powerful mind can also have a very powerful delusion. I have a very powerful mind, but those delusions are also there. So this was in the video. She asked him, how do you know I'm lying when you're lying to yourself? Some clues of this is pain. So you're depressed, but you don't know why, and it's internal. It's not coming from like external factors that you feel internally. It can, like I said, I talked about this earlier, a physical ailment unconsciously manifest as a signal, or like a long-term disease. Like you're really like, I've had times like this before, like where when I lived with my dad and I was like really stressed and I had all this shit going on, it was like this, you know, depression and everything like that. I felt it. I felt like the stress in my fucking tailbone to the point that like it hurt to sit down. I went and got x-rays because I was like, something's wrong. But like I legitimately, like, it was just stress, because when I left that, like I didn't feel that stress anymore. And that's manifesting now. I actually have something that is stopping me, but you know, it's a sign from the universe. It's just meant to be, man. Sometimes it's just the way it goes. Or life is not flowing. So there's like not energy flowing, and it's stagnation, which is no truth. This is kind of all over the place once again. So manifest people who reflect suppressed feelings. When you're not flowing, you're not allowing yourself to flow or use that natural flow, you're stagnating and you're just denying the truth. You manifest people who reflect those suppressed feelings. And I've seen that because when I've been depressed or in low spots, or especially struggling with my eating, it's like I manifest people who are also dealing with the same thing. And that's because you're just projecting it out into the universe and you're manifesting it, and it's coming right back to you because you're not putting anything else out there. So act out your own state. Pain isn't bad or good, it's just meant to exist. It's a sign and it tells us something. Anyway, let's see. Okay, so this is more about the pain. So pain is feedback. You have to sit with it and it will reveal something. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm sitting with the pain. I've been doing that when I apologize to people and I'm reconciling and I'm sitting alone in my room and I'm not allowing myself to distract or numb myself or detach or dissociate with substances or people or filling my time with useless shit, you know? And you're sitting with it. It's trying to tell you something. You just have to sit and you have to listen with it, and it's hard and it's uncomfortable, but you have to prioritize the end result over the way that you're feeling right now, or else you'll never get to the end result. How do I surrender and trust that things will naturally unfold? So perfectionist, so I'm laying down a little bit, I'm trying to get a little more comfier, but perfectionist will burn themselves out with an illusion that is not reality, but is a perception. It's a perspective. It's not the independent reality that I was talking about earlier, and that's being perfect, because being perfect, it is an illusion. Like, when I think of being perfect, like perfect, right, like this like ego that I built myself off of being enough, it would be being skinnier, it would be, I don't know, just, that's the thing, is being confident, but it's like, that's not something that you attain. Like, it is something that you attain, but like, you can't find confidence just by intentionally seeking out to obtain it. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's a perspective, because there's no such thing as perfect as a personality. It's not meant to be. Even like the greats, they were not perfect. We live in polaric opposites. We do not live in a realm of perfection. Think about it. Every single person on this earth has a different definition of what perfect is to them. So there is no perfect, because it's just a perspective, it's just a perception, it's just an idea, it's just a concept, it's just this abstract thing that people attach this meaning to, but it doesn't actually stand on its own. If everybody came together and was like, yes, this is perfect, it's like, not everyone's going to agree on what's perfect, so it doesn't exist. It's just a thought, it's just a concept, it's just an idea. So start seeing things for how they are, how they already exist, because there is no perfect, it just doesn't fucking exist. How can you not trust life? We're breathing. It's already happening. Your lungs are expanding to fill air and to keep your body alive. It just knows how to do that. You don't have to pray or meditate to live. You don't have to subconsciously think, oh, I need to breathe right now. Oh, my heart needs to beat right now. My blood needs to flow throughout my body. My nerves need to feel. You don't have to think about that. It's just already fucking happening. It's not spiritual. It's just like biology. It's an intelligent that knows how to heal ourselves when we create the space. If you cut yourself right now, you're going to bleed. And your body will naturally heal that. It knows how to function. It knows how to do that. You just need to give it the space in order to do that, and your body will naturally create it. So it's the same emotionally. If you think about it, we're a miracle. All our cells have to be in harmony or functioning just to say hello to another person. That already exists, and that's like fucking incredible, and that means it just stands out. It's like, that's cool, bro. It sucks, and it hurts to be alive, and it hurts to breathe sometimes. I've fucking been there, but you're still doing it, and you have no control over it. Like, you're already surrendering. I'm readjusting again, but you're already surrendering to life, and you don't have a choice, because you're like consciously breathing right now, for one thing. I'm gonna move a little bit. Okay. All our cells, nature is happening. Like, the sun rises and it sets, and we are programmed to disconnect from just like the fact that we exist. Like, we don't even think about like that. Like, we're not realizing that, like, when we go to sleep at night, like, the moon is out, and then when you wake up, it's like the sun is out. It's like, yeah, fucking no shit. Like, that's how it works, right? But it's like, no, it's existing. It's existing right now. You know, without a doubt, it's out there. You know that your heart is beating right now. You know that you're breathing because you're alive. That exists. That's the real reality. All of these ideas that you attach, just ground yourself in that, in this moment. I'm breathing right now. I'm being right now. I'm existing right now. I'm sitting. I'm listening. I'm doing this. That already exists. Like, it's the focus on the things that already exist, that just are the way that they are. We are one with everything. I truly believe everything is connected in some way. So truly surrender. It's an invitation. Stop forcing and manipulating life, how things should be. When you think about that all the time, think about how many shoulds you be. You're like, I should be this, or I should feel this way, or this should have worked out this way. And then think about all the times that you had that and it turned out to be different, or it turned out to be even better than you imagined. Like, I was in a relationship for 1.5 years and things were going well. I mean, obviously they had their difficulties, of course they did, But we were a year and a half into this relationship, and then it was like I just did a complete 180 because I didn't work on my shit, and I detached, and I treated him horribly, and I was super disrespectful, and I didn't acknowledge or treat his emotions or the situation or the connection or all of the experience and all of the memories and all of the feeling that we had together with the respect that it deserved. And I have these shoulds in my head. I should feel this way. I should be this way. It should change. It should go back to how it was. I should be able to go back into the past. But now if I look back at it, it's better than I even imagined. There was a time where I just sat with like that depression and just being suicidal and just giving up and just initiating, just going through the moments because the emotions, because I didn't even have the energy to breathe. It hurt. It felt like it literally was hurting every fucking single cell in my body to breathe, to just simply exist. But now it's like, oh my god, I just feel the sense of relief, and like there's still so much work to do, but it's accelerating so fast now that I'm surrendering and I'm allowing these feelings to pass, and I'm just allowing myself. A lot of things that are projecting is from our own ego structure, and our ego structure is built off of our past. That has been built off of what we have been feeding ourselves, and the foundation, and like this core belief system, and that core belief system is built off of before we were the age of 7, when we were just a child and we didn't understand the nature of things, so we would just assume. And it's, you know, if you were set up with the emotional skill set, if you had that emotional support, or if you were abused as a kid, because even if you weren't physically or sexually abused, or if you were, or if you're emotionally neglected or abused in some way, right, you're going to believe that you are the problem because you don't have a greater understanding. You don't know why adults do the things that they do. You just know that they do it, and you can't make that connection, so you assimilate that it's you. You're like, I'm the problem, and you sit with that. And so you project. If you don't undo that, if you don't, well, first off is gaining an awareness, but it's not even that. It's like you need to do the work. You need to build up your own ego, because that ego and that hurt little child inside of you that started that snowball of self-esteem is still sitting there, and all of that hurt that they went through, and all of that rejection, and all of that neglect, and all of that pain, and it's trying to protect you. That inner child is trying to protect you, but it's also limiting you. And anyway, so ego structure built up the past, right? So we're unable to see the full picture anyway. The idea of control is an illusionary conditioning. We can only see what's in this moment. It means you feel into the soul, which is your deepest impulse. This is going to be a whole spiral. Your deepest impulse is a feeling to move in that direction. Like, think about it, like stop and be like, what do I feel that I need? Like, what is it? Like, for me, it's like, I need to finish my behavioral technician program. I need to be a behavior technician. I need to quit my job at Fuji. I need to get my poetry out there. I need to share my thoughts like I am right now. I need to move in that direction. That's why I'm filming this video. It's not always logical. And so this is going to go two ways, because it's not always logical. You can either doubt yourself. So one of these is we're gonna go the not always logical, when you start to doubt yourself. This is the conditioning that you've been told to believe and that you have reaffirmed. So don't take a step. You don't take a step forward because you're scared of these things and you're projecting, and you've been conditioned to just repeat the same old patterns over and over and over again, so you don't evolve. So let's see, you take surrender and you completely let go. Like when I was suicidal and I was just like going through the motions, you completely let go, but it's to achieve things. It's to achieve X, Y, and Z, and this is built off of a system, a formula, conditions, and it's a limited game of surrender. You can surrender, but it's a limited game. It has these conditions. You know, I'm gonna have to come back to that at another point, because it's like I feel like I have a connection, but I can't really think of it. I mean, when I was suicidal, that's when I sat in the deep dark place. It's like I completely let go, but I was just, that's the thing, is it was a limited game. I was surrendering, but it was a limited game because I didn't see any other way out of it. There was no possibility. It was just letting go. That was the only possibility. And that's the limited game. That's the conditioning. That's the belief that things will never get better, that I will always be not enough. The other way that you can take this deepest impulse, just that feeling to move in that direction, that's not always logical, like, oh, I'd like to make all this money. But it's like, that might not be logical, but it's like if you feel it, there's that deeper intelligence. Allow life to guide you. Feed it and tune in. Just feel it. Just feel it. Just feel the emotion. Don't attach to a particular outcome. Don't attach to it being like, I'm going to do this and then it's going to turn out that way. The goal is the necessary puzzle piece, and that's the evolutionary learning. That's what you're going to learn from doing this or feeling this or wanting this or achieving this in some way. It's about what you're learning from it. It's not about what you're obtaining. And you are going to obtain knowledge from it. So it's like you are attaining something. It's just not about the attaining. It's not about the reciprocation. Let's see. I lost. Now this is gonna start to be where it's all over the place. I don't know where I started on this. Willingness to, the surrendering is a willingness to not have the answers, but knowing this direction is right. It's space without limit. Let's see. Actually, this is the evolutionary learning. Okay. Live in a state of curiosity. It's a willingness to be guided. It's an openness. It's surrendering to the infinite possibilities. So now the surrendering that I'm doing, before it was like the limited game of surrender. I had no expectations for myself, and the expectation was that I had no expectations for myself. That was the surrendering. But now the surrendering is this infinite amount of possibilities because I'm feeling life being guided through me. You know, I'm not having these expectations necessarily, but I'm having these feelings and these impulses and these things that I want and I feel like I need, these things that I'm going to achieve, and this person that I am. Don't project limited or modification version of our past. So just don't project, man. You can feel these things, feel them, but don't project them. You're going to repeat the same patterns, and sometimes it is necessary learning, but sometimes you're just repeating the patterns and you're not even learning anything anymore. Let's be honest. I mean, that's the roadblock I've hit recently. But opened the doorway to these infinite possibilities because I'm surrendering. I'm allowing these things to come. Okay, so surrendering. It's creativity, intelligence. It's more than you imagined. The great surrendered. What did life live through them? It was manifested. It's an internal completion is felt. That's how you know. You get /who/what. It's a graduation of what you are. Like I said earlier, I didn't even mean to get back to that point, but it's funny because it all comes full circle. It's all comes down to who you are and tuning in to what you're feeling and breathing and existing and sitting with that pain and that child that was hurt and all of the projecting that child did, thinking that it was trying to protect itself of hurting and disrespecting other people and just repeating the abuse that has been done onto you. It's reconciling and it's forgiving and it's letting go and it's surrendering. That's what it's all about. Anyway, that's my first video. If you actually listen to this, I'm gonna give you a good, I'm gonna give you a kiss. Anyway, thank you. I'm sorry, I'm awkward.